فیوچر آف پاکستان کانفرنس کے لیے اس وقت ہم لندن کے ہوٹل ہلٹن کینزنگٹن میں کھڑے ہیں، اور آج 28 اکتوبر کو پاکستان کے ان افراد کی یہ کانفرنس شروع ہو رہی ہے جو کاؤنٹر نیریٹو کے لیے کام کر رہے ہیں، جو چاہتے ہیں کہ پاکستان کو ایک سیکولر اور پروگریسو اسٹیٹ بنایا جائے۔ اور اس ضمن میں ہم ٹیک ٹی وی کی طرف سے خاص طور پر لندن پہنچے ہیں۔
Viewers, we are here in London, England. We are having a discussion, a conference for the discussion of future of Pakistan. A lot of very prominent people who are living abroad and observing the situation while having their deep thoughts about it along with the data to provide us to see the future lines, how we can do some betterment.
Pakistan, unfortunately, has become a victim of a very specific narrative in which complete focus is on opposition to India, on Pakistan military being the only viable institution in the country. Civil society has been decimated, political parties have been made weak, and as a result, Pakistan lags behind in virtually all major indicators. We want Pakistan to be able to have a pluralist liberal dialogue once again.
Haqqani Saab, you try to bring people who think even living abroad together, and I can see how much you put into. But what is the reason that the gap I see is getting wider instead of shrinking a little bit towards betterment?
Well, the problem seems to be that within Pakistan, people with a different voice and a different opinion are really being pressured in many ways. Islamist extremists will attack people. Several people have been killed. False charges of blasphemy are brought against people. People are declared traitors for suggesting peace with India or for suggesting better relations with the rest of the world. Or even criticizing the terrorist groups that have been attacking Pakistan and its interests. So people in Pakistan have modified their views somewhat to try and fit within the very limited parameters of the Pakistani state and the Pakistani establishment. The Pakistanis who are abroad, they have slightly greater flexibility in expressing those opinions. So you and I can express our opinions far more openly and honestly. We can base it on research and we can come up with hard facts. But in Pakistan, many facts have actually been mangled and people are not even allowed to discuss them publicly.
If we talk about the conference for the future of Pakistan, how would you like to describe it in 2 sentences?
It is an effort to try and bring disparate voices together and to make sure that people with a more pluralist, liberal orientation start cooperating with one another and amplify each other's voice. There are many people with a vision of Pakistan that is different from the Pakistan that exists today, and those voices need to be heard. They need to strengthen each other. They need to support each other.
I'm Dr. Mohammad Taqi. I'm based in Florida, Pakistani in origin, and I'm one of the organizers of this conference about getting not necessarily like-minded people, but people who are concerned about things happening in Pakistan, and are we on the right course, and if not, what is not right, and if we can help set the things on the right course, how can we go about doing that? Most of our participants are intellectuals, writers, journalists, activists, some politicians in their own right who have been contributing to the intellectual milieu in Pakistan over the years, and we decided that it would be a good idea to put them under one roof, have them talk to each other, talk amongst themselves. A lot of us do write, speak, but not generally directed at each other. So this is more or less of a brainstorming session about why the space for dissent has been shrinking in Pakistan. The so-called alternative opinion is not welcome in neither the Pakistani mainstream media nor in the government or establishment echelons, and the people who tend to disagree with the official gospel truth, they are sort of ostracized and denigrated, and in worst case scenarios branded as traitors and so on. So there is a certain concern about people who do not conform to the official line, that why the hounding of dissenters in this way. way. And a peculiar silence comes from Pakistan's political parties as well, who usually tend to co-opt the intelligentsia when they need their help up against a military dictatorship or an overt coup d'etat and stuff like that. But when it comes to where these people who are under fire amongst the intelligentsia, then we don't see a political party or a politician coming out to do some heavy lifting. So why this thought process has been going on, where these not only has the space been abandoned, but people who actually have a difference of opinion with whatever the prevalent norm might be, they have been sort of painted in a corner.
My name is Shahjahan Baloch and I am President of Institute for Development Studies and Practices. I'm really very glad to be in this conference because the topic that will be discussed is about the future. Normally we don't discuss future because we are too much busy in present. Because the future vision of Pakistan, to me, without recognizing the nations in Pakistan, like the Baloch, Pashtun, Sindhi, Seraiki, there's a multinational state. Without recognizing that, the future of Pakistan would be very challenging. And that is something that has to be recognized constitutionally, that has to be recognized by the civil society, that has to be recognized by as a whole, as a society, that if we want a brighter future for Pakistan. And for our children, for our youth, we should discuss that, what kind of future we are envisioning. Like I told my daughter that I'm going to participate in a conference on future of Pakistan. She told me, Baba, what kind of future of Pakistan? Because people are killing children, people are killing youth. So for whom future of Pakistan you are talking about? The old people, they will be running this country? Honestly, my daughter Zemal told me that before coming to this conference. I think we have to answer these questions very honestly. For a political culture, for a social culture that is towards peace, harmony and social justice. Without these valuable goals, there is no future of Pakistan. And particularly if there are projects like CPAC, like any other mega projects, if there is no national consensus on that, that has to be reviewed, because at what cost we need development. Maybe we have confidence of foreign investors. Maybe we have confidence of foreign powers, but we don't have confidence and trust of our people. So what kind of future we are envisioning? A future should be based on the trust in people. A future should be based on the vision for our children and youth. That is the future of this country.
My name is Fahim Baloch and I live in UK. I'm a student over here. Just if we see the future of Pakistan, I consider it a bright future if state-sponsored extremists, state-sponsored groups are stopped. State stops funding those groups and the extremist groups. So I don't think there would be. It would be a very bright future of Pakistan unless they stop those terrorist groups which are being funded by Pakistan, as they consider them their assets. And rest, if we talk about the gross human rights violations in Pakistan, I'll specifically talk about Balochistan. Thousands of people are missing over there. Thousands of dead bodies have been found on the roadsides, and they were abducted by specifically, I'll say, secret agencies of Pakistan. This should be stopped, and with the hope I have come in this seminar, we'll be talking on the human rights issues in Balochistan specifically.
First we have to think where Pakistan is going to end up. Is this prevailing situation can continue forever, or we need to bring some fundamental changes? Because people at large, they are very disappointed, because of all these clashes, military versus elected government problems, military versus other people problem in Balochistan and other provinces. So people think that this is not the situation which we can sustain forever. So we have to decide and we have to really think about the future of Pakistan to see what kind of country, as a country, it can survive and it can make some progress and development.
This is an important conference, I think, because this is an opportunity to critically evaluate the ongoing discourses in Pakistan and how can we put together ideas to face the challenges that are staring Pakistan in face, and I hope in the end of the conference we will come up with ideas for Pakistan, which is better place, plural Pakistan, which is tolerant, more democratic, and where ethnic diversity is celebrated, not suppressed as it is now, suppressed in the name of Islamization, Pakistaniyat, etc., etc.
You see, big changes in history and in societies take time and effort and struggle to achieve. And those big changes, those big struggles are composed of, relatively speaking, small individual baby steps. Such conferences, bringing people together, exchanging ideas, certainly contributes to the momentum that we require in Pakistan to bring about that change. So I think despite the fact that we may be impatient to see big results, those big results will come through small efforts such as this one, although this is not that small an effort anyway, but through individual efforts such as this one, the change will come about. We have to be patient and we have to keep struggling, and we cannot lose hope in these circumstances, because it's very easy to expect a quick fix solution, but something that has developed over 30-40 years cannot be reversed in the space of a few years. It itself requires a consistent, long, patient struggle to ameliorate, to improve, to develop into something that is democratic and fruitful for the people of Pakistan.
I know that Hussain Haqqani Saab has gotten together a very, very good and progressive group of people. So I'm hoping that something good will come out of it. How we can all work together, that is what we need to be focusing on. Because I think that the reason why the progressive forces in Pakistan seem to be losing ground is because I don't think we really work together. We're all doing good work individually, but we need to bring it together. As far as the arts are concerned, I think arts are imperative in changing society, in not only putting forth a positive image of Pakistan abroad, but fortifying our own secular heritage. Because I believe that the real tradition of Pakistan, which exists in all of its multiple languages, Punjabi, Saraiki, Balochi, Sindhi, Brahvi, Northern area, Shina, Burushaski, and so on, this heritage in our multiple languages is secular and humanist in nature. What we call Sufi literature, Sufi poetry. It's inclusive, and this is what we need to not only project but to promote within our own country, so that Pakistanis can really truly have a sense of identity and get out of this identity crisis they seem to be in.
I have some contribution to journalism in Pakistan. I'm Rashid Rahman. Until February this year, I was editor of Daily Times, and I've held editorial senior positions in a lot of newspapers in the last 27 years that I've been in the profession. I've always tried through these years to adhere to my convictions. I'm open to being persuaded, provided there is something there. But if it isn't, then it's difficult to move me from my own convictions. And I think the journalism of conviction that I have tried to practice, उसकी पाकिस्तान को बहुत ज़रूरत है. आज शायद more so than ever उसकी ज़रूरत है, इसलिए कि इतना बड़ा क्राइसिस से गुजर रहा है मुल्क, और फ्यूचर जिसके लिए हम आज यहाँ इकट्ठे हुए हैं एक कॉन्फ्रेंस करने फ्यूचर ऑफ पाकिस्तान पे, वो इंतहाई मुश्किलात में घिरा हुआ है. So I think people of good sense and goodwill who are meeting here should meet, come together and put their heads together to see what we can make of the mess that Pakistan is in and how to get out of it and what sort of future and how to get there. And I think that is what we're here to discuss today.
میرا خیال ہے کہ یہ کانفرنس کافی اہم ہے. اس کی وجہ یہ ہے کہ پاکستان میں ہر قسم کی جو ڈیموکریٹک اور لبرل وائس ہے اس کو سپریس کر دیا گیا ہے. تو جو پاکستان سے باہر لوگ رہتے ہیں اب یہ ان کا رول بنتا ہے, اور وہ رول پاکستان سے باہر جو پاکستانی رہتے ہیں ان کے لیے ہے کہ وہ پاکستان کے لیے اپنی وائس جو لبرل ڈیموکریٹک ہے اس کو بولیں اور بتائیں پاکستانیوں کو کہ پاکستان میں کیا ہو رہا ہے. اب آپ دیکھیے پاکستان میں جو میڈیا ہے وہ تو بالکل ISPR سرٹیفائڈ ہو گیا ہے. وہاں پر جب تک آپ ISPR کے سے اجازت نہیں لیتے بولنے کی, جو ان کو نیریٹو پسند نہیں ہوتا وہ وہاں چل ہی نہیں سکتا. اور بہت ہی زیادہ جو ہے کم لبرل وائسز رہ گئی ہیں. آپ میرا خیال ہے 3-4 لوگ گن سکتے ہیں جو پاکستانی میڈیا پر ابھی بھی تھوڑا بہت بول لیتے ہیں, لیکن یہ ہے کہ پورا سچ بالکل نہیں بولا جا سکتا پاکستان میں. ہم نے دیکھا ہے کہ بہت سارے پاکستانی جرنلسٹ صحافی جو ہیں ان کو قتل کر دیا گیا, اور ان کے پیچھے یہی ہماری جو نان ڈیموکریٹک فورسز ہیں جس میں میں کہوں گا پاکستانی افواج اور جہادی لوگ ان کے وہ ہیں. تو یہ کانفرنس اس حوالے سے بہت اہم ہے کہ کچھ وائسز جو ہیں جو دنیا میں ان کو اکٹھا کر کے پاکستان میں ڈیموکریسی اور پلورلزم کے لیے آواز اٹھائی جائے گی.
آئی تھنک اٹس اے ویری گڈ تھنگ کہ یہ کانفرنس آرگنائز ہوئی ہے کہ جو پروگریسو اور لبرل تھاٹ رکھنے والے لوگ ہیں پاکستان کے اندر ان کو موقع ملا ہے کہ سب اکٹھے ہوں. کچھ لوگ پاکستان سے آئے ہیں, میں تو یہاں لنڈن میں مقیم ہوں, لیکن کچھ لوگ امریکہ سے بھی آئے ہیں جنہوں نے کانفرنس آرگنائز کی ہے. تو آئی تھنک اٹس اے گریٹ اپرچونیٹی کہ مل بیٹھ کے لوگ آئیڈیاز ایکسچینج کریں اور آپس میں برین اسٹارمنگ کریں.
Actually, today's conference is thought-provoking. This agenda have been there since Pakistan inception. Since 1947, Pakistan have been facing a question of democracy, civilian supremacy in particular, and Pakistani state have been declared right from the beginning a security state, and its problem with its neighbors, international relations with its neighbors and wider Western world and in Europe and America. So I think today the people from Pakistan, particularly liberal intellectuals, progressive left intellectuals, gathered here in order to see how they can build consensus on the direction of Pakistan. And Pakistan have been somewhere misplaced the question of democracy, and his image all over the world is that like this is a sort of theocratic state. Some accuse Pakistan is a military state, but it is since Pakistan have been created through vote and democracy itself, and it lost its basic principles on the way last 70 years. So people will discuss how we can have build consensus on Pakistan direction, particularly secular direction. Is it possible for Pakistan to emerge out of security cloud and military dominance? So these all people who are here from Pakistan, from all over the world, basically think almost in same direction, but they are not united, organized, and their narrative is not being heard in Pakistan, or they are facing impediment in order to forward their agenda. So that's what we will discuss here.
So the reason that I'm here today is because I want to show the frustration of the Afghans, that we are very frustrated with the way the Pakistanis are treating us. Every day Afghans are getting killed in dozens. As this conference is happening, Afghan army is fighting 3-4 battles that are being supported directly by the Pakistani army. So I just wanted to come and speak to the panels and to ask them the question that this is not going to continue, because right now Afghans are the defensive. We're defending our land, but there will be a day that Afghans will start the offensive basically to end the war that's been imposed by them by Pakistan. So that's the reason that I'm here today, and I hope to meet some people and speak to them and to hope to change their minds that Afghanistan will never become Pakistan's fifth province. If anybody has that thinking, that person will be thinking that, and will take that wish to their grave, because that's not going to happen. Afghanistan is an independent country. It has the history of over 5,000 years. But we want to live side by side with our neighbors without any conflict, without any war, where we respect each other mutually, where we respect our territories mutually. That's the message that I want to convey today, and that's why I'm here today.
हम रहते पाकिस्तान में हैं और हम दिन रात देख रहे हैं कि क्या हो रहा है, और ये सवाल हमारे जहनों में होता है कि हमारा और हमारे बच्चों का और यहाँ इतने सारे रहने वाले 20 करोड़ इंसानों का क्या मुस्तकबिल है। तो हम हर वक्त इसके बारे में जो कुछ हो सकता है वो करते हैं और फ़िक्रमंद रहते हैं कि पाकिस्तान का मुस्तकबिल ख़ास तौर पे नौजवान नस्ल के हवाले से कि वो तकरीबन 60% हैं, तो क्या होगा उनके लिए और किस तरह उसको बेहतर बनाया जा सकता है।
Well, future of Pakistan, I feel, I have already said, I think many times, that it's a failing state but not a failed state. So it is still on that trajectory, and I don't feel that things are improving. But there is more awareness now among the political parties, barring a few, that the trajectory of in which there was too much reliance on the non-state actors to further our foreign policy was wrong, and that we should move away from that and try to have a policy which is good with the neighbors and have peace in the region.
देखिए, मैं एज अ पार्टिसिपेंट ये समझती हूँ कि इस कॉन्फ्रेंस के थ्रू हम जो है एक ऐसा एजेंडे पे जो है अपना एक एग्री करें कि उससे हम जो सोसाइटी में जो असल में पब्लिक इश्यूज़ हैं जो सामने नहीं आ पाते मीडिया में और जो पीछे चले जाते हैं, उनको सामने लाएं। जाके बहुत सारी जगहों पे ह्यूमन राइट वायलेशंस हो रही हैं जो लोगों को नहीं पता, जो छोटे छोटे गाँवों में बहुत मसाइल हैं वो सामने आना चाहिए, और बजाय एक ही तरह के रेट्रिक जो चलता रहता है एवरीडे मीडिया पे, उसको जो है ख़त्म होना चाहिए और असल इश्यूज़ को ज़्यादा सामने आना चाहिए, हाईलाइट होना चाहिए।
हाल ही में ये पाकिस्तान इस बहुत ही ज़बरदस्त किस्म के एक क्रॉस रोड पे दोराहे पे खड़ा हुआ है। लोगों को कुछ इस तरह मीडिया के ज़रिए, हैरानगी की बात है, मीडिया के ज़रिए गुमराह किया जा रहा है कि शायद जमहूरियत पाकिस्तान के लिए मुनासिब नहीं है और जमहूरियत की वजह से पाकिस्तान में करप्शन फैल रही है। हालांकि करप्शन का जमहूरियत से कोई ताल्लुक़ बराह रास्त कोई भी नहीं है। करप्शन तो कहीं भी हो सकती है, जमहूरियत में भी हो सकती है और डिक्टेटरशिप में तो बेइंतहा हो सकती है, क्योंकि वो पूछने वाला नहीं होता। जमहूरियत में कम से कम मीडिया सवालात कर सकता है, स्कैंडल्स ला सकता है। जो आमरीत होती है, डिक्टेटरशिप होती है, वहाँ पे तो कोई बात भी नहीं कर सकता, लोग मार दिए जाते हैं जिन जो आमिराना निज़ामों में कोई करप्शन के ख़िलाफ़ बात करता है। तो असल में हमें इस वक्त फ़ैसला करना है पाकिस्तान के लोगों को जो बहुत ज़्यादा ये फ़िक्र रखते हैं कि हाँ, पाकिस्तान कहीं तन्हा तो नहीं होता जा रहा है, अलग तो नहीं होता जा रहा है, कहीं पीछे तो नहीं रहता जा रहा है। जो बज़ाहिर किस्म की तरक्की हम देख रहे हैं, क्या इससे आवाम को फ़ायदा पहुंच रहा है? सिर्फ सड़कें बन जाने से या रेल्स बन जाने से आवाम या कौमें तरक्की नहीं करती हैं। तरक्की करती जब लोगों का सोशल इंडेक्स, उनकी लिटरेसी रेट, उनका हेल्थ इंडेक्स बेहतर हो, जब आम लोगों को यकीन हो कि हमें इंसाफ मिलेगा और वो इंसाफ के तमाम निज़ाम और मैकेनिज़्म मौजूद हों, जब लोगों को यकीन हो कि हम घर से सुबह रिस्क के लिए, तलाश के लिए, रोज़गार के लिए जाएंगे तो रात को वापस खैर खैरियत से आ जाएंगे, जब माओं को यकीन हो कि उनके बच्चे जब स्कूल जाएंगे तो उनको कोई अगवा नहीं कर लेगा या वो मारे नहीं जाएंगे, वो ज़ख्मी नहीं हो जाएंगे और बड़े सुकून और खैर खैरियत से घर वापस आ जाएंगे, जब इस तरह के हालात हमें मखदूश नज़र आ रहे कि ये नहीं हो रहा है, तो हमें इस मुल्क के मुस्तक़बिल के बारे में गौर करना चाहिए। और खौफ भी आता है कि जब हम हर एक दूसरे आदमी को जो सवाल करता है कि क्या पाकिस्तान सही रास्ते पे जा रहा है नहीं जा रहा, तो सवाल करने वालों को हम फ़ौरन गद्दार कह देते हैं। हम बड़े आराम से सर्टिफिकेट्स बांटते फिर रहे हैं गद्दार होने के या काफिर होने के। क्या इस सूरत में एक मुआशरा मुत्तहद और मुंज़िबत रह सकता है? ये बहुत बड़ा चैलेंज है और पाकिस्तान का फ्यूचर इसी में है कि हम इनके जवाब तलाश करें और एक अच्छे रोशन मुस्तक़बिल की तरफ चल सकें।
बहुत शुक्रिया।
Number 1 multicultural channel. This is TAG TV.